All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis and what Roy Jones had to say about him and Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s relationship, and basically tell him, man, it is time to kick rocks. Let's talk about that in this video. Right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are in the lightweight division. Actually, we are not quite in a division for this conversation. We are talking about some of the best fighters to do it in this century, and one of the best young fighters, best fighters in the game today, Roy Jones Jr., Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Gervonta Tank Davis. But before we get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for your support, ongoing support. If you're not, please accept my invitation to join the boxing community that we have at Fanon International Boxing. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, this weekend we will be giving away $1,000 after the Yordanis Ugas versus Errol Spence Jr. unification fight. So make sure you sign up at our partner BUSR at busr.ag/Fanon. Use the promotional code Fanon, and you will be eligible to win that money that we will give away on the site to use on future wagers. Now, wagers. All right, so let's get into this. Roy Jones Jr. is giving some advice to Gervonta Tank Davis and pretty much telling him, you need to leave Floyd. And what he says is, Gervonta, you should become a promotional free agent. Now, if you're not familiar with the circumstance, it's been all over the boxing news for the last week or so. Gervonta Davis, who has a big fight coming up against Rolly Romero, a mandatory fight to defend his WBA regular title. It's a secondary title, but you know, it is what it is. It's a defense of the title. And if you don't win the fight, you lose that belt and you lose a lot of the momentum he has in his career. So still for him, a big fight, even though I would say it's a fight that he should handle, you know, with relative ease, because many people believe that the fight is actually a mismatch. Rolly Romero should not be able to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the best I think he's one of the best fighters in the world. ESPN has him in his top 10, has him in their top 10 pound for pound fighters. So, you know, it is what it is, man. I don't think it's that competitive a fight, but still an important fight for him. Well, he was beefing with Floyd Mayweather Jr. going into the fight, saying that he was pretty much going to be gone after this fight. Now, Floyd Mayweather Jr., for his part, came out and explained, you know, his side of the story about, you know, the incident around him having a press conference the same day Gervonta Davis had his press conference. But I don't think Gervonta Tank Davis, I keep saying the whole thing, Gervonta Davis is really buying it. But regardless, Roy Jones Jr. is saying, look, you don't need to be signed to a promoter. You can become a promotional free agent and basically bet on yourself like he did during his career, and because you're a good enough fighter and you have big enough name to be able to get fights on a fight by fight basis with whatever promoter may want to promote you at the time. Now, that to me sounds like it is a very reasonable thing for Gervonta Davis, because Gervonta Davis is a guy that is he's well established in the boxing world. Like the other people that are in that situation, Deontay Wilder's in that situation where he is a promotional free agent. In fact, most of the big fighters at the PBC are promotional free agents. They have their own promotional company and they do business. They have Al Heyman as an advisor and a manager, and typically speaking, they fight either on Showtime or Fox, but with a promoter organizing it who is affiliated with, in some loose way, affiliated with the PBC. So it may not be, so it's not necessary for Errol Spence and these guys to sign multi-fight deals with promoters, right? The only people that I know that are at that level that are fighting on PBC cards that are signed to a promoter I think it may be Gervonta Davis. Everybody else, even Danny Garcia is a promotional free agent. Sean Porter before he retired, was a promotional free agent. Errol Spence Jr. is a promotional free agent. I'm not sure if even Yordanis Ugas may be a promotional free agent. I'm not sure if he's actually signed to a promoter or not. So, what Roy Jones Jr. is telling him, I mean, it makes sense, right? That you don't need to fight for Mayweather Promotions, and you don't need to really fight for Mayweather Promotions and lose anything other than, maybe the drama that you get to have caused when you are arguing with Floyd before you guys actually make your fight. So, I think it might be, solid advice from Roy Jones Jr. But as with all things, there's risks with it, right? But I don't think that the risks in this situation for Gervonta really are that great, right? As long as he has a manager, right, that is able to get him fights on networks, and the networks are willing to put to do the promotions, right, and get the promotions out there, I think that he'll be okay. Now I do in defense of Floyd, know that Floyd does, in the cities that Gervonta goes to fight in, he does have a good ground game. They do go out there, they do get out and and go to do different events in the cities and have people come to the different events and try to and generate knowledge about, or knowledge and spread word about the fight taking place. But I don't know that it's to such great extent now that that's the reason why he can sell out in multiple cities. Because once you can do it in San Antonio, Brooklyn, San Antonio, Atlanta, Brooklyn, LA, obviously Baltimore. I think there may be another city that he sold out in. I don't think it was Dallas though. But regardless, you get my point. He should be able to continue. He should be able to continue to do that. Now, that would also mean, however, that Gervonta should reject an offer that would come from Matchroom, right? Because Matchroom, my understanding is from Eddie Hearn, said that they were going to be very aggressive at signing Gervonta Tank Davis if he is out of the contract with Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? But in that instance, that would not be a promotional free agent type of situation. That would be a multi-fight deal. Now, my take on it is, and I said it in the video before, that if you're in a scenario where you can make a lot of guaranteed money for several fights, I don't necessarily know why that would be a big deal, a bad situation. If what you're going to do is your guarantee is going to be higher than what you would do in the pay-per-view type of situations, he may want to take that. But it's just going to be real interesting. Great advice from Roy Jones, putting his 2 cents in there. Don't think he's hating on Floyd Mayweather Jr. or anything like that. I just think he's giving, good, solid advice. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.